We'll just do it in the north yard.
You hopped off the roof.
Yeah, somewhere where the inmates gotta get, basically.
Do you?
Up on the cafeteria.
Or not supposed to get. Guys, do you... Either of you have a pistol on you?
Oh, nope. Negative.
Perfect.
Is the north yard accessible by the inmates? Or?
If they jump up onto the roofs and out to the perimeter, but by then we'll already be aware of it. And I will beanbag them.
Okay. Honestly, I'd rather do it at, like, reception or something.
We can do it in the office there.
Because I'm gonna be on the tablet a lot during this, and I don't want to get jumped. You know how those people are like. I'm just
Are you sorting out
wary.
the email permissions?
No, I haven't. Yeah, what do I give them? Just
PD recruit.
Yeah. They should have PD recruit.
Also, the two gentlemen.
Oh no, that's the. Wait, hold on. No, that's the. Never mind.
Catwalk were being very aggressive.
Recruit PD. Yeah, is that the one?
Yes.
Alright, and I removed the past
They
interview.
probably know we
We
understand.
can probably do it here actually, in the airlock.
Ah. Out of the office either. Or
We'll do it in the
If
airlock
you
and
just go grab a
then...
knife, I'm gonna quickly
no,
check her.
Jimmy.
Just to let you guys know, this is one of the places you can put your cars away.
Yeah, you might want to double out with someone if she said she's covered in knife.
Okay.
I'll come down for you.
Yeah, honestly, I'd rather do it
Ricky,
sooner than try to
I
get jumped,
I
to be
believe in
completely
you.
honest with you, Lara.
Okay, so we'll go into the office.
Yeah, I'd rather do it in the office.
Search these rooftops to make sure no one else hopped up here whilst we were distracted.
And we'll get out anyway to do the car part anyway, so.
This is the tunnel. The long, long tunnel.
You got thrown from a rooftop over there.
You did?
Yep.
Who'd buy?
Adrian.
Okay, that doesn't surprise me.
We're at the farm here.
Little fucker.
Quick way to access the office over here.
I was not expecting that.
Access to your office. He's awesome.
Oh.
Oh, someone failed.
I think he has bad knees.
Okay.
I think.
Gave out of me there, but I'm all right.
Head on in.
Can we get some more officers down here? She's refusing
how do you access
to let me
this?
search her.
F1 duty belt.
Vladim's having a hard time over here as well.
Go to your house and then kind of enter it.
068 1041 1080.
Okay.
So are you able
I
to
hate to do
come to
this,
the
dude.
yard
Good
and
on you.
have over
Yes.
that situation?
Completely
God, no.
forgot to go grab some. Thank you, thank you.
10-4.
Appreciate you.
I prefer standing.
Who's giving you a hard time right now?
Oh, fellas. So my name's Captain Quinn from
Who's the inmate giving you a hard time?
There's
Little
two
weird
of
thing about me, I like donuts and
Bring
oyster
it to us.
sauce.
You know their names?
Oh,
Like
okay.
together?
Yeah, of course.
Donuts and oyster sauce.
All right.
You gotta take me out for that sometime.
Oh yeah, shit's
Jimmy,
not
awesome.
have to take me out for
your
that.
shirt is ripping, so we'll need to go and get that fixed later.
Okay. All right.
And I'm the DOC warden. I'm Lyra Rima. I'm the one that runs this crazy, crazy place.
Alright, fellas, your turn. Tell us something about yourself, your name. Anything interesting that makes you stand out. I don't know.
You can go first. I'm a gentleman.
All right. I'm Jimmy Hamels. I'm from Boston, and the only acceptable pizza is thin pizza.
I agree.
Thin pizza.
Yep. Deep dish is gross.
I mean, yeah, no, deep dish is kind of gross. You're kind of right on that.
Okay, it's not gross. It's still pizza, but
Isn't like
thin is
so
where
is
it's at.
regular pizza
It's like
like
a pie
thin
by that
pizza?
point.
Is
That's
that what
not
that is
pizza,
then?
okay?
Well, I mean, pizza pie. Now you're getting but now we're arguing semantics.
Yeah, that's a different type. Yeah, that's a completely different thing. Exactly.
All right.
Catwalk seems to be clear.
Anyway, to introduce myself, name's Melvin Graham, 2-time PD interviewee, farm boy raised.
All right. Sounds good. Oh, all right. I'll do the call sign once I do the MDT pie. You can do the next one.
I'm just gonna do it on yesterday's boot camp.
All right, we already made a new one.
Oh, you already made
Kinda-
new one? Okay.
Yeah,
that's fine.
I've done that while I was waiting.
Okay, so activity going on and off duty. So there are several ways you can go on and off duty. You can go to your phone. You can go to the job center and start and end your shift.
Neat.
You can go. We'll go over the NDT of how you do that of the NDT. You can also think of toggling your duty.
Keeps running away every time I try to search.
And then this, all you gotta do is escort her, and then search her.
Hell yeah.
So that is 3 ways that you can, like, the MDT is the other way. But we can show you that when we actually get to the MDT.
She does have a screwdriver in her
I can
pocket.
go over. So active is when you are actively working. We have an activity check every 2 weeks. So if you have not clocked on, we will notice that. Or if you clocked on for half an hour, we will take record of that. And we go back to, we inform, sorry, I've got radio going because I'm keeping your ear out. They're doing really well, by the way. If you have not clocked on, or it's like half an hour for 1 day in the last 2 weeks, we're going to reach out to you going, hey, do you want to carry on being a recruit? Do you want to get to your cadet phase? If you don't get back to us within 48 hours, you're then terminated and you'll have to go through the process again. Just to let you know of how that's how it goes. You have a cutoff of 2 months to get all your training, your recruit phase done. So you have 50 hours in 2 weeks, whichever one comes last. And yeah, you have 2 months to do that in. If you don't get to them, again, you'll be removed and sent over. If you need an extension on that time, you need to reach out to us and talk to us. We are understanding about that.
Hell yeah. Sounds good.
All right, fellas.
Let me just
I
check
think that's everything, right?
quick. Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine. Okay, fellas. So
106 to DOC.
chain of command, I assume you guys know what that is. No.
Have you managed to get it all under control?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So within SCSP, I'm just gonna go over the right.
10-4, it all sounded really, really awesomely. You all were working really hard with one another. I was really impressed with all your radio comms
Thank you very much.
and your teamwork, so give yourselves a pat on the back. That being said, I don't think all of you have got your transponders on, so just double check, clock it on and off.
I know I got mine on. I put that on right away when I woke up.
Same traffic.
Same traffic here.
Mine's on.
Perfect. Thank you all very much. I'm really glad to hear all these awesome things going on.
For my seniors, senior deputies or senior officers, deputies, solo cadets, and cadets. Okay. Those are kind of self-explanatory. As a cadet, you need to, be with an FTO. As a solo cadet, you can be out there on your own as long as there is an officer on duty. So again, the whole point of chain of command is for you guys. Don't try to skip the ranks. Try to utilize the chain of command because obviously, we on the top we deal with a lot of shit, right? And if you guys need help with, for example, some charges or something, right? If you're a deputy, probably another senior deputy can help you, right? If it's obviously something, if there's something that the senior deputy can't help you, they'll probably tell you, okay, you're gonna need to go, you know, one up. They might tell you, oh, you need to go to speak with at least sergeant or your command, right? So always try to follow the chain of command first, before reaching up to the higher ups. Okay, they'll be able to help you 9 out of 10 times. Okay.
What's she done? Why is she back in here?
I'm gonna very quickly go over the next part, which is sort of like the any questions about that, by the way, before we move on.
No, sir.
Alrighty.
Nope.
So the next thing we're gonna touch on.
Did you tell
is
them
gonna
that all
be-
the high commands have different titles depending on which?
I did. I
commands-
said, yeah.
Well,
Yeah. It's basically there's chief of police and yeah, sheriff, followed by variously named under sheriffs or assistants chiefs. And then you got the sort of standard structure under that.
And then you get Super Trooper.
Okay. Right. So next we're gonna go over is sort of special divisions and certifications that we offer. So in regards to certifications, these are things you can get certified for within SASP. Those include bike certifications where you get to drive a bike. Heat certifications where you essentially get to drive interceptor vehicles. There is also meat certification, which is a moto interceptor, or the dead meat you end up if you crash out on a meat on the side of a road. Followed by pilot FTO and FTO. So pilot is essentially FTO in training. Then you got FTO, Air1, and K9. And I think that's all of the certification, if I'm not mistaken. So these are the things obviously we can offer you guys once you obviously reach, I think within DOC as well, some of them, if you become full-time COs, but obviously you guys are PD recruits. So these things will become available to you once you reach a deputy and you've been with us for at least 2 weeks, okay? Then you can kind of inquire about how do I get one of these, all right? Any questions about certifications?
nope.
None.
All righty. Let's move on to divisions. So subdivisions are sort of like, well, subdivisions, right? We've got SRT, which is the Special Response Unit. This kind of originated from handling out warrants to kind of, you know, dealing with sort of like a bigger violent, like down in Southside, gang wars, all the way down to, you know, certain clubs, you know, hunting down people with warrants. You kind of name it, anything that sort of requires a little bit more sort of tactical approach, that's going to be a SRT for you. Sort of hand in hand goes CID. So CID does all the sort of investigations. That's a criminal investigation division. These guys kind of look into anything sort of like anything that involves a lot meatier charges, let's say. Anything that sort of requires, you know, holding trials, sort of the big stuff that, you know, will probably end up with somebody being held in jail until trial or until they, you know, get a deal. So if you're kind of interested in sort of like a longer term cases, you know, longer term work, that might be something that would interest you. We also have a street racing unit, which is kind of dead right now, unfortunately. Ask me about that later. We'll see if we can revive it at some point. It is a thing. It's just dead at the moment. They used to deal with a lot of the car related crimes and street racing. Lara, am I missing any divisions?
Not that I can think of.
I feel like I'm missing a few. I don't know why.
You had CID, you had SRT, you had SRU. You had.
I know what I forgot.
What'd
The
you
one, this isn't a division. It's a certification that is a tactical cert, which essentially allows you to carry and unrack a AR in certain situations. But yeah, I think that's all of them. Any questions about those?
None from me.
All right, perfect. So we've kind of gone over the introductions already. All right. as you might be aware, you guys already got your goodie bag and you got things out of it, correct?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
All right, so we're going to very quickly touch on things that were in there, okay? Body armor, put one on, please, if you haven't already. Always try to wear one, okay? Well, yeah, it helps you not die when you get shot. IFAK.
Good to know.
Yeah. If you get shot and you're not feeling well, all right, I highly recommend utilizing an IFAK. It's sort of like a field kit. It'll help you feel better. That being said, if you are bleeding, all right, whether that's from a gun, whether that's from a, being stabbed or anything else, you're going to want to use a bandage, okay? You need to bandage that fucker up, all right, and just kind of compress as much as you can to stop the bleeding, okay? All right, the other thing in your goodie bag is going to be a taser, okay? Take one out. And you should also have some cartridges in there, okay? Feel free to reload them. You can see each cartridge has 3 shots in it, okay? Try to keep an eye on that when you're chasing after somebody in prison. It happened a few times that you try to, fire it and realizing, oh shit, this bitch is empty.
Yeet.
And I think the other important thing in there that you guys have is going to be your, is it nightstick or baton? I keep forgetting.
A baton.
A baton, all right. So again, these things we'll kind of go over when you guys can kind of utilize this, and I'm sure Lyra will touch on it as well later down the line. All right. The 3 other important things that you are going to find, well, sorry, 2 other that you're going to find is your GPS transponder. Feel free to use it. Kind of is what it is. It helps everybody tell your location and where you are, all right? If you go off duty, this thing will turn itself off automatically, so make sure you then, turn it on again. If for whatever reason you take this thing off you, obviously the transponder will turn itself off as well, all right? So if somebody steals that thing off you, we will not be able to find you, all right?
Yes, sir.
So if you're on duty, always have that on. Compass watch. Again, very, very useful thing. Just wear it on your wrist as much as you can. If you're in a yard or on the streets and you're running around after a suspect or an inmate, it helps you provide direction, okay? Try to provide the direction you're running in, where you are. It helps you give context to where you need others to get, okay? So, for example, you're going to be running, outside of the cell block after a suspect. You can be like, 113, I'm going to be running northbound after a suspect out the cell block. Right. Again, it helps you know the direction, which direction you're heading, right? If you don't know the sort of,
Shoot.
what would I call it? Like key points of the prison, if that makes sense to provide the comms. It's always useful. And obviously, once you reach PD, you'll be using it quite a lot to, provide comms and chases, which streets you're on, which directions you're heading. Okay. Get used to it. You'll need it. And the very last thing is your axon. Okay, so please think about axon. Make sure you turn on your axon when you're on duty. Again, helps you tell the time and date. If you ever need to go over your body cam in a future, for whatever reasons, to get dates, times when things happened. And also, this is kind of a requirement when you take in any evidence photos of people after you search them, okay? You need to document what was on people. Make sure you have your axon on, all right? Now,
Yes, sir.
I'm going to briefly touch on this, okay? Because in regards to body cams, for now, they are admissible, all right? Going forward, there is going to be a change coming up, right? Try not to rely on your body cam too much. Always try to write up your reports, in as much detail as you can, as it is something that is going to be changing very shortly. Okay.
Aye.
Okay, and I think that covers those. All right, we're gonna go over your F1 duty belt. Okay. So very first things first, I'm going to pull out your taser. And we're going to register your equipment, okay? So again, go into your F1 duty belt, police, and then register firearm, okay? Did you get
Weapon
confirmation it's been...
registered.
Perfect, okay. After it says that, make sure you put it away. Pull out your nightstick. Do the same. Perfect. And one last thing is going to be the flashlight. Okay, make sure you pull that out as well. And register it. Perfect. Okay. One thing about flashlight. If you ever need to find any bullet casings, if you want to, pick up any blood samples from the ground, there was a shootout, stabbings, whatever. You're gonna use your flashlight for that. Okay. Just make sure you pull it out, turn it on, and just look for that shit on the ground. Okay.
All right.
Yes, exactly like that. I don't really feel like
Gotcha,
shooting
gotcha.
inside of here right now, but if I did, you'd probably find the casings right under me, okay? And you can then
A
pick them up.
firm.
All right. Okay, let's go over other things on your duty belt. Some of the most important ones, and shall we do this in pairs? I guess you guys can do on
I can
on
get
each other.
Lisa over here and she can. They can do it to us.
They can do it on themselves. It's fine.
Doing well.
Okay. So very first thing, the most important, putting people in cuffs. All right. So again, on your duty belt, you're gonna go into general and handcuff. All right. So just turn towards each other, try on each other.
You can go first.
So one at a time. Make sure you announce if you're cuffing somebody. Okay.
Sir, you are being cuffed.
Yep. Always try to do it beforehand. Reason for that is you want to make sure that if anybody else is trying to go for cuffs, they're not in the area. And you're also announcing it just in general, okay? Always announce before you go for cuffs.
All right.
You wanna try
Usually you'll
again,
do it
or-
after they either fell over or you tackle them, okay? Or you tase them.
Do we just do the same thing again to take it off?
No,
no,
so
I-
is he? He's no,
I
he
escaped
resisted
him.
it. No, he resist. He kind of slipped
Okay.
down as you were putting
Okay.
him. So
Oh,
let him.
Yeah, I'm
so,
a slippery little guy. Sorry.
so let him do it again because I want to teach you guys how to uncuff as well.
Got you.
Sir, you're being cuffed.
Again, announce it before you do it, okay?
Understood. Not during.
All right.
Got it.
So now, if you look at him, differently, you can then take him off. There we go.
Sir, I'm trying
Perfect.
to uncuff you.
Yeah. There you go.
Good. Thank you.
While they cuffed, you can also do such a thing as search them. Okay, they have to be either cuffed or they need to be incapacitated. They need to be on the floor, knocked out. You can then search them, right? But usually make sure they're in cuffs before you search them, or they put their hands up. You can also search them if they put their hands up.
All right.
Okay. Now you
Here,
tried
let
on
me
him.
try this stuff out. Going for cuffs.
Nice. And again, just to take him off, just looking. Yep, you can also search him. And if you look at him differently, you can take those off as well.
I'm gonna be uncuffing you, sir.
Perfect. If they're masked up, you can also take the mask off, okay? While they're handcuffed.
Aye.
All right. So that's how you back cuff someone, okay? If you want to front cuff someone, which is something you'll be doing probably more frequently in prison, you want to go into your F1 duty belt, police, and front cuff, okay? Just again, try it on yourself.
I'm
So
gonna be
you
cuffing you, sir.
you would probably use this if you want to, for example, escort somebody down to visitation or to get changed or, those sort of scenarios. All right, now try it on him as well.
All right, I'm gonna be putting you in front cuffs, boss.
Perfect. Now, while you have him handcuffed, keep him handcuffed for now. You can also shackle him. So right now, he can walk, right? If he's already handcuffed and again, they might be trying to run away from you, you can also shackle them. So if he was to now try to run around, he's probably going to fall over with his hands in front of his face. Right, so just go run around a little bit.
Hey, stop running. Hey, stop.
And there you go. And now he
Hey,
needs to
stop
go
that.
after him. And if he does that, you can now shackle him the same
Hey,
way.
you stop that, young man.
So now go try to shackle him.
All right, I've had enough of you. You're going in shackles.
All right. And now he can't move. So to now transport him anywhere else, exactly, you're going to have to escort him. Perfect.
And then would I just
Alright.
have to uncuff for the
Put him
shackles
down.
and the
So
front
listen,
cuffs?
before you do that, so
Okay,
if you
gotcha.
want to remove the shackles only, you just need to recuff him, okay?
So like
If you want to uncuff
front
him
cuff
completely, you can uncuff, you just uncuff him, you know, by looking at him differently.
Okay, so if I want to take the shackles off, I'd front cuff him again, right?
Yeah, or just back off. Either or, yes. You just recuff him basically, and yes, that'll take the shackles off.
Oh, okay.
And now he can walk. There we go.
Hell yeah.
And he's still gonna fall on his
I
face
didn't
if he
fall
keeps
over
running.
that time.
You're getting better. You're
All right, feel
evolving,
free to
man.
uncuff him. Now I want you to try the same thing on him. I also want you to
All right.
search him, okay, this time around because you didn't try that before.
All
so.
right, yeah, I'll search him.
So just front cuff him.
All right, I'm
shackle
cuffing you,
him.
sir.
Yes, sir.
Now I'm shackling you too. No more moving.
No, I was gonna run away.
All right, now you can pat him down as well. So have a go at that. Again, in your duty belt on the general, you can search him.
All right.
All right. Now you can just uncuff him.
All right, I'm gonna uncuff him. I'm gonna take off his shackles first, and then I'm gonna fully uncuff him. Just have confidence in both.
Perfect. So, do you guys know how to tackle?
Yes.
No, sir.
No, sure. All right. So, what you kind of do, you just want to kind of, you know, start running, kind of shift your weight forward. All right. And then you want to, what am I doing? And you want to just kind of, you know, lean, like lean forward. Okay.
I didn't expect that.
Start running and just kind of, you know, at him while you're running.
Oh, wait, no, I hit the wrong thing.
I'm a brick wall, man.
He literally is.
You need to hit me like a linebacker.
Just at him, okay, while you're running. All right.
You got this. I believe you.
Full force.
Okay, hang on.
Where you going?
I'm struggling.
I think he's a little lost.
What the?
All right, I'll stand here if you want to try it on me.
There we go.
So if you're ever running after a suspect, try to tackle them and then cuff them, okay? Or after inmate.
All right.
Recommend that first. If that doesn't work, then obviously go after Taze as well. I'm just going to quickly take, so these handcuffs on your wrists, the way you can take them off, just again, go into your F1 duty belt. So look at him, you need to take it off like for each other, I think. Go into your duty belt, access props, and just kind of delete it.
Hi.
That'll help get rid of those cuffs on your wrist, boys. You got it? Okay. And I'll do it again. Hopefully that'll take your own off. I'll let him do it.
Yeah, I can't seem to find it.
Okay, so
It's
you're gonna go
police.
into police, access
Oh,
props,
okay, gotcha.
and then you're gonna go delete prop. Okay, try that again.
Got it off me.
Okay. Try it again one more time. There we go.
There we
There
Perfect.
we go.
That's so you get rid of those. Okay, what else is there? Right, frisking. Again, we're gonna go over probable cause and reasonable suspicion in a bit. There are occasions when you have a right to frisk someone, but you do not have a right to search someone. All right. To frisk someone, you just kind of walk up to them, you make sure they're fine with it. And again, on your duty belt under police, you can just kind of, you know, frisk them. Okay. It's going to tell you whether they've got, you know, any sort of like large objects on them. And obviously, if they do, then you can, you know, that gives you probable cause to search them afterwards. All right. Or potentially probable cause based on what has happened. So
All
try
right.
that on yourself.
All right. I'm gonna try it on you, boss man. You're gonna be frisked.
Yeah, I'm good. You can frisk me.
Probably going to feel like a fairly large bulge or something.
Oh my.
You don't gotta compliment me, but I'll take it.
Gross.
All right, sir. I'm gonna be frisking you at this time. Okay.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I feel a little something.
Thank you.
Ain't no problem, man.
All right. Another thing at our disposal can help us again, help us to move up from that sort of reasonable suspicion to a probable cause. It's just kind of examining someone, right? And this also includes, like you would run a GSR test the same way. So again, you walk up to someone, you know, you can just under, yes, that's gonna be on your duty belt under general and more. You can kind of examine somebody, okay? That's going to tell you whether they, for example, smoked weed, you know, what are their eyes looking like, whether they got any gunshot residue on them. Just try that on yourselves. You'll see what I mean. Whether they've got scratches on their hands from, you know, trying to break into houses. You can just examine them based on the situation, okay? And again, most of the time you would use this to help with to get, you know, probable cause to search someone or to detain them. Does that make sense?
Yo.
All right. What else do we have here? Okay, so this is something we're not gonna do now, and please do not press this button. Okay.
Please
On your
don't.
duty belt, on the police, there is a jailbreak. Okay. Do not trigger that. What that does is that will put an entire prison on lockdown, and that will alert police, like the entire state, that there is a prison break happening. Okay, please do not do that right now. You will be taught when to use it and how to use it during your DLC phase. Okay,
Gotcha.
we're not gonna go through that now. Try not to fat finger it either.
It happens,
the other thing,
though.
it does happen. If it happens, it happens. Just try to avoid it.
Yeah.
The other thing that stays also impound. Okay. Again, 9 out of 10 times we never use this. Always call for a tow if you need to impound something. All right. There are certain situations when you just simply cannot get hold of one. Those will get kind of explained along the way through your career. Okay. Right. Few more general things. We're gonna go over putting people in and out of cars later, so I'm not gonna go over that. Not gonna go radio at the moment. The other thing we're gonna talk about is dispatch. Okay, dispatch and MDT. So as you see, there was a suspicious activity call that popped up. If you guys then hit dispatch now, you can very quickly hit respond as well without even opening your MDT. Okay, don't necessarily need to worry about it too much. The other thing is you can just open your MDT to go into your MDT. One last thing before we move on though. Do you guys know what 13 Alpha, 13 Bravo is?
Yes.
I would believe that's when somebody goes down or is incapacitated.
Correct, yes. So 13A is an emergency, 13B is sort of non-emergency, right? So you maybe crashed out or something.
There's a nice image of it in the in the DOC SOPs. If you go and look at it, the image.
So
Yeah,
we're
I
not
saw
necessarily
it.
gonna do that now because I don't feel like knocking people out. Essentially,
I'm putting the
on your
prison in
duty belt,
lockdown.
yeah, if you're knocked down on the floor or you get stabbed or something, right, by someone, in that case, you would want to trigger that 13 Alpha, right? That is an emergency. Somebody just fucked with me, right? I need help now, okay? That's what you're gonna use the 13 Alpha for on your duty belt. It's gonna be one of the two options. The other option is if somebody, I don't know, if you crash out in a car, let's say, or something, or on a bike, I don't know, essentially non-emergency, you fell off a roof like a dumbass, that's when you would trigger the 13 Bravo, okay?
All right.
Hey, fine.
Moving on. I think I went through everything, Lyra, right? Did I miss something?
No, that makes sense. I've just sent you the. So 13A is oh fuck, 13B is dumb fuck.
That's a good way to put it. Okay, I'm kind of gonna go different way with this. I'm gonna do radio, comms, and dispatch first. I think it goes better flow wise.
Okay.
Radio. There are 3 main channels for you guys to worry about during DLC phase. Okay, that is going to be Radio 5, which is going to be your default radio that you're going to be on while you're on duty. Radio 1, which is the PD radio. If there is, for whatever reason, you need police presence up there, you can hop on Radio 1 and essentially go something along the lines of, you know, DOC to PD. Then you're going to wait for a response. Somebody's going to say, send it. And then you're going to say, you know, relay your message saying, hey, can we get some assistance up in prison, blah, blah, blah. Does that make sense?
It does.
Yep.
All right. So now, to switch your radios, there's a few options, okay? First one is on your duty, on your radio itself, which you can access to your duty belt.
Not here.
Okay. Just go on the radio, and essentially the sort of, you know, 1 to 6 you can kind of access from there, okay? Radio 0 just turns your radio off. So again,
Gotcha.
feel free to hop on 5. Just don't talk on it for now, as an example. Cool. The other way you can do it, you can just think about it too. To change your radio. Now, the last channel you guys need to worry about and know at this stage is going to be Radio 11, which is the EMS. Okay. If inmates get hurt, you need to get there's an EMS available and you want them to come up, or see if they're available to come up. Again, you're going to go on Radio 11. You're going to go DOT to EMS. You're going to wait for a response from them. And then you're going to ask them your question. Okay. They're either going to say, okay, we're going to send somebody up. Or they're going to tell you, please go see the local Billy Bob doctor in the infirmary. In which case, you'll just take them to the local Billy Bob. Because they could be busy, they could be on different calls, they could have many different patients at callbox. So that's all kind of based on their availability. Now, in terms of comms, okay, when you're on radio, try to keep your comms to the point and concise. All right. Try to sort of practice this in prison too. Try to learn the 10 codes as well. If you got sort of downtimes, just study them, drill them into your head. But again, do not worry about them too much. Plain English is absolutely fine too. All right, until you do learn them. Main thing though, if you're, for example, in a yard and on a foot pursuit, please tell people the key information. And what I mean by that is where you are, well, who you are, where you are, and what is happening. Okay. Never say things like on me, okay, or I need you guys on my location. Okay, that does not help anyone, right? Always say something like, so if my call sign is 113, I would say 113, I'm going to be on foot pursuit in the tunnel. I need 78 right now. Okay, so that tells everybody there's a chase happening on foot in the tunnel, which is the middle part we just walked there through, and that the person needs additionals. Feel free to again say that in plain English too. Again, I said 77s, that's non-urgent. 78s would be urgent units.
Okay, I need you on me.
Yeah, on me. Please never say that on radio, ever.
Come here, I need you here.
I'm over here.
Like, I need you guys on my 20 now. I'm like, yeah, but what is that 20? What is that location? All right. Always try to keep those key informations when transmitting over radio, okay? We're gonna briefly go over dispatch. So this is gonna be part of the MDT. So if you open up your MDT, and you should be on the dispatch tab right on the top. So as you can see on left side, this is SASP, Standard State Police wide dispatch channel. Okay, if you guys need to message somebody, tag someone, you can do it in here simply by putting down the call sign in the chat. Okay, so if you guys want to tag me, feel free to type in 113 test or something like that. As long as you do that, I'm going to get notified.
A small
feel
one.
free to do it if you want.
It is a small one. Third one.
You can try it later on yourself as well if you guys want to. There you go.
Okay.
I do get a phone notification as well when you guys do that, okay? It has to match my call sign exactly. Bear in mind, people can update the call sign. So make sure you check whether they're on a bike, whether they've got, in air or whatever they're currently doing. You can see that in the middle section. So the middle section is on the top is obviously the available units, gives you the count, gives you the people that are currently available. and the call signs and names as well. You can see there's a bunch of meats, bunch of motos, bunch of crazy call signs like bears. He's Russian, don't question it. And obviously you can see EMS at the bottom as well, so you can easily tag somebody like EMS in a dispatch too if you need to get hold of them. As you kind of scroll down, you can see there's a bunch of calls currently happening. Okay, so we kind of create these at the start of shift for different things. So if people are processing, they usually have processing call where they're just attached to. So people know these people are not just standing at VPD doing nothing. They're actually doing something. They're processing. There's interviews happening. There's the mini bootcamp, which I actually want you guys to click attached onto it right now. Both of you, if you could do that, perfect. So now you're kind of attached onto that mini bootcamp. And then below you also saw that Vangelicos just got called code 4. There's a 311 call that EMS is responding to as well, and so on. Now, as you saw, the second you attached to that mini bootcamp, you also changed your radio to 24, okay? That is because we set that up before you even attached onto it, right? The way this is done, this is called something Signal 100, okay? It's usually utilized for when there is a situation happening on a call, which you can see on the very top of the MDT, right? You see Signal 100, there is like a list of different radios listed, right? So we can see there's Signal 100 on processing, cadets need homes, mini bootcamp, vehicle repairs, CID, and interviews, right? So we can tell there's no like actual calls happening right now. But what Signal 100 means is there's an active situations. So if you ever go on that radio and it's like, let's say Vangelicos or store robbery, never essentially talk on it unless it's relevant to that call. Okay, that's what Signal 100 means. We're not going to go into too much detail over that. On the very right side, actually, before we move on, find yourself in the list under the mini bootcamp. On both of you now, click on yourself, set call sign, and set your call sign what you've picked during the the bootcamp select in Discord, basically what your call sign is. Okay, so make sure you guys get updated. Perfect. 049 and 046, fantastic. You also saw there's a bunch of other options. Feel free to sort of like try that on me as well. So if you click on me, you can set my radio. Don't do that at the moment, so you can set somebody's radio. You can also attach under me. You can set their call sign, and you can also toggle their duty. Again, don't necessarily do those on this unless there's a reason somebody asks you to. But there are options you can do on a call. Another little feature is you see that mini bootcamp, the entire call, so is kind of boxed off. There is sort of more options at the end of it. Okay, you see those 3 dots? Again, don't do anything in there. Just open it up just to see what's on there. You can change your radio. You can request 78, which is additional units. You can set it code 4, which will close down the entire call and move everybody back to radio 1. And then you can also set waypoint. As certain calls have locations, attached to them. So if it's like a robbery, you can just set waypoint to find it. For now, we're just going to stick to that. But this is another way to change radio if you need to move somebody to a different radio. Okay. Anything else about dispatch?
No, I'm good.
Okay. Kind of complex. You don't need to worry about it too much right now. You'll learn over time, as you know. As DOC, you guys don't use it as much, if I was to, be completely honest. You guys mainly sitting on radio 5, and sometimes you'll have to move to like 6 if situation breaks down, but you'll see when that happens in practice. Cool. Let's move on to the MDT section. All right. So if you go back into your
The brainchild.
MDT. All right. On top, you see there's a dispatch tab. There's an MDT tab. Okay. So the very first thing you're going to see is probably going to be the dashboard. So on the dashboard, left-hand column is, again, San Andreas State Police wide bulletins. Okay. This is anything that's happening in the state. This is anything that's important for all departments to be aware of. Feel free to read through that in your own time. The middle section is going to be your own DOC bulletin. So this is going to be mainly your departmental bulletin boards. Again, read through that in your own time. I'm assuming there's a bunch of information about inmates, what's happening, maybe security levels. I don't know how you guys do that. It's probably it's most likely DOC related. Now the very last column for you guys is going to be inmates, right? So you're going to be able to see who's currently in prison at this time, serving their time. Okay. I think it also shows you like the remaining time, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, it shows you their CID. It shows you their profile picture. If they have one, it shows you the remaining time that they have.
Yep. That last column changes based on department. Once you become a police, that'll be active warrants instead. So before we move on, there is a little feature called tabs. Okay, so above dashboard, you see like these little like tab there. You can kind of open up the 3 different tabs of the MDT. Okay, so this is if you want to browse separate reports, or for example, you're writing one report, you want to, I don't know, copy something like, I don't know, like units that were on another report. You can open that up in another tab basically without having to close down your report. Okay. Of maybe you want to go look up a vehicle without again closing down your report, just do it in a new tab. It's a lot better to do it this way, you know, stops you like losing your work and things. Next up is going to be profiles. So as you can see, there's going to be search in there. Okay. So click on profiles and search for Dex Bishop II. So just search Dex Bishop. So Dex Bishop II is just somebody we registered in there as a, you know, as a dummy person that we kind of use during testing, you know, during trainings. As you can see, it gives you the basic details. You can edit the profile, which we're not really going to do right now, so you guys don't need to know that too much about that. Tells you the notes. So things like weapon licenses, when there were DNA swap, things like that gets noted down, and maybe some speeding ticket warnings too. Right hand side, the licenses, as you can see, Dex Bishop II has none. If they own any vehicles, followed by a gallery, so if there are any mugshots, any pictures that we want to keep on the profile, we can. Their convictions, followed by...
He's been convicted of a lot, by the looks of it. Including hostage taking of a judge. It's an interesting report on that one.
Yeah, he's been convicted of a lot of things.
He is a very violent felon. I mean, the deadass took a judge hostage at Legion Square and forced him into his vehicle, and then held him captive in his basement.
Yeah, apparently.
Jesus.
And then if you scroll down to the bottom, then you see any sort of reports that Dex Bishop II was involved in. Some are literally from yesterday from another academy. I'm seeing Guaves had a field day going at his. Anyway. So this is profile. You can look people up. You can edit the information. I wouldn't though unless you just wait till you become PD. We'll teach you what you can and can't change and how does that work. I'm not going to spend too much time on that part right now. We're going to go over vehicles next, and there's a reason for that, but we'll get back to reports. Please look up a vehicle called Sheriff. So as you can see, you can look up people's vehicles, right? Very similar to profiles. Each vehicle, we've got it in our database if it's registered to a person. We can add pictures into galleries. We can see if it was involved in anything. So again, if you add a vehicle into a report and you save that report, it will appear on that vehicle's profile. Any notes you want to leave against the vehicle, usually these will be things like stating mounts. On the top right corner, there are certain actions you can do to a vehicle. You can state impound it, you can set a bolo, you can mark a vehicle as stolen, and you can mark it for a code 5. These actually do things. If you, for example, mark a vehicle as code 5, if anybody looks up this vehicle, for example, runs it at the traffic stop, this entire page will be kind of flashing red, telling them this vehicle needs to be code 5. And there will be a report associated with it. Okay, now that we look these things up, we're going to go down to reports. So this is probably the most complicated section. So if you guys get confused or not keeping up, please tell me. I will slow down, okay? So as you can see, there's recent reports. So these are the things that basically just happened today, now, very recently. There is a search, so you can search for specific people. You can search for tags potentially, and also things like weapon IDs, things like that. The reports will then basically come up if you like look up a weapons ID. Again, something you'll be worrying about later on. Reports are broken down into 5 different categories. Incidents, you can even like kind of tap through the little filters. Incidents, warrants, bolos, just general reports, and then DLC reports. Okay. For now, we're going to go over incidents, so feel free just to go back to all and click new report. All right. Both of you feel free to click that new report. See once you did it. Perfect. Now, this looks very sort of clean at the moment, but the minute you start to add things, it kind of fills up. So let's start in top right, and then we'll kind of work our way to the left. So on top right, you can add officers involved. So if you feel free to click add, and you can find yourself in that list. You can also search for yourself. So if you search for Quinton, I will come up. You can then click on me. It adds me to that report, right? Then you can also look up yourself. So I just searched for Melvin, came up, I can click it, and I can also search for Jim. All right, Jim Hamels, there you go. All right. Now, you should have 3 people now added as officers involved, correct?
Yup.
Perfect. So we do this to know who has been involved in a scene or who has been involved in like an incident that happened in a prison, okay? Doesn't matter what type of report this is, you will probably utilize this in some shape or form, okay? Same way, victims, witnesses, civilians. If this report involved, victims, witnesses, hostages, feel free to add them this way. Vehicles involved, exactly same thing. Feel free to click add. And you're going to see it's going to come up with the recently searched vehicles that you actually looked up. You should see the sheriff there already, right? So this is why I went into the vehicle section, because if you somehow arrest someone or you look them up, you've got them there. So feel free to add a sheriff's vehicle into it. Should say sheriff. And then at the bottom, criminals involved, right? So this is the person that you basically arrested. So again, if you just click on that, it should come up with Dex Bishop II already because we looked him up. If you didn't look him up, you would then need to obviously search for him. So again, search for Dex Bishop II and add him into the report. So now you can see how these reports kind of coming together as you go through it, yes?
Yes, sir.
We got our officers involved, we got our vehicles involved, we got the person who committed the crime, but now we need to add the charges, okay? So next to that Dex Bishop II, you go and add charges button, so feel free to click that. What this does is this brings up the entire penal code. You can search this to find specifically what you're after. If you need, for example, like a description of a charge or you're onshore, just kind of hover over the little info icon. It'll give you the description, okay? So feel free to just, stack some charges on him. Like 3 or 4, doesn't really matter which ones. And then just hit the little close button. And once you've done that, you should see all your charges now in a table, correct?
Yes, sir.
Perfect. So again, it doesn't matter whether this is a ticket, whether this is somebody you're arresting, this is how you would basically do it. Once they pled guilty, there is a full-on process which you will do. We're not necessarily going to go over that. You can mark things as you find them. You can mark things if they pled guilty. And you can also do reductions at the bottom, which are kind of applied automatically. Or you can do custom if you click into the 0% field. Again, don't need to worry about it too much. Now, on the left-hand side, you've got your report type, which you can again change if you want to. The title is usually the person's name that you arrested. The subtitle is usually the type of crime they committed. So if it was like a store robbery, you would do, first-degree robbery. If it was, for example, they robbed the house, it would be a burglary, right? Try to keep yourself relevant to what you arrested them for. Make sure you do the charge like word to word. The reason for that is you can search for this as well. So if it kind of affects the search results. So just try to make sure you like copy the name of the charge as you do that subtitle. Evidence, a very useful feature in here. Once you open up the evidence window, you can paste any number of links as long as they're separated by as long as they're on a new line. So if you took like 5 evidence photos, you can copy all 5 of them. I highly recommend using something like ShareX. Very useful tool. You can kind of take pictures of a scene as you go along, and you can very easily copy all 5 of those things or 6 or however many you took and literally just paste them all in there at once. Once you do that, you just click add evidence, and then they will appear like in a nice little gallery in that report. The last section in creating a report is the summary. In that summary is basically, we'll teach you once you become a deputy that there is a template that we kind of use, what you fill in, what needs to be there. You can, for example, also click the DOC right now. So change your incident type to DOC. You will see there is a completely different template to it now, right? It's got a bunch of like location, primary officers, full summary, officer statements, so on, so on, so on. I'm sure they will teach you guys how to fill these in within DOC. So we're not going to go over that right now. Once you're done with that, obviously feel free to click hit save on top. This sort of saves the report. That being said, nobody else can edit it, right? They can see it, they can't edit it. For somebody else to be able to get into your report and edit it, you have to click save and stop editing. Okay. So once you click save and stop editing, I can, for example, go into your report and then check it out, right? If I click edit, I can be the only person editing it at that time. Nobody else can sort of like go in there, save over you, you know, to screw it up. That's basically the MDT. There's a couple other sections. So the penal codes are very similar to the charges window that we kind of already went through. Works exactly the same way. You can look up charges, you can hover over the infos to read more about them. And the very last tab is roster. Okay. This is probably quite important for you guys, just to know who's who, but also you can look up your 10 codes here. So at the bottom, you've got a bunch of tabs. If you click on 10 codes, these are the common 10 codes that we use SASP wide alongside the penal code. So if you want to sort of like dig into the penal code in more details, you could do that. And the other important thing is the case laws. Okay. Again, during your downtime, if you got no inmates, not much to do, please study these. You will be questioned on them during your cadet phase. Okay. Okay. Any questions about MDT specifically, reports, profiles, vehicles?
I think I'm all good.
Okay. One thing I did forget, which you're going to very briefly go over. Find your report again. So the one that you wrote, you should be able to see your name against it and go edit report. All right. And you want to now change the type into a warrant. Okay. Again, this is not something you're going to have to do anytime soon. Probably once you reach the PD. You're going to be able to create warrants. Okay. So what that does is at the bottom right, you can currently see that the warrant is denied. This is something that you need a supervisor, so sergeant above, or a SAO to approve. If they do approve your warrant, what that does is, so let's say approve it now, for example, like one of yours, and just save it. And she'll screw it, I'll approve mine. And now if we go back to a profile and find Dex Bishop II, you're going to see something different now, right? Straight away in the search results, you should be able to see he already states he has an active warrant. And once you click on him in profiles, it's also flashing red. Do you guys see that?
Yes.
All right, perfect. So again, this is something you might do during like a traffic stop. You know, you run somebody's name. If they have an active warrant, it'll be fairly obvious. You know, these guys need to be code 5. If you were to scroll down to the involved in, you're going to be able to see that this guy currently has 3 active warrants, which is the ones that we just kind of raised. All right. Any other questions about MDT?
Do you want us to change the warrant from back to DOC or?
Nah, don't worry about it. Doesn't matter too much.
Okay.
You can even delete it at this stage. Okay. We're going to very quickly go over probable cause. So reasonable suspicion and probable cause. Do you guys know what that is?
Yes.
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
Give me an example of a reasonable suspicion.
Well, you saw you got a report of a store being robbed and that somebody left the area of that store.
Okay. Do we have another example?
Hmm.
For
some
example,
reason
we
it's
could
hard-
have very similar. We could have a burglary, okay, and you see somebody just kind of hanging out like on the street right next to it, okay.
Yeah.
You know, I would have some
Gotcha.
reasonable, suspicion to go and talk to that person to try to kind of figure out, saw anything, what happened here. Knowing what I know that the alarm went off, I can try to put two and two together, right? Like, if the person starts to act dumb, or yeah, I've not seen anything, well, they're probably lying. Whereas if that person tells me something on the lines of, hey, somebody just drove off on a bike, well, that kind of matches out with the story, right? Like, I know there was an alarm, right? If somebody just drove off, that kind of makes sense, right? The guy kind of starts to be cagey and is like, oh, I don't know what happened. There's nothing happened. It's just me, right? Well, I'm already starting to put the two and two together. Like, hold on. Something isn't playing here. Like, why would that alarm go off if this guy has been here all this time and he hasn't seen anything, right? So at this point, I probably have a reasonable suspicion to believe that this guy did it, right? That this guy actually did potentially, try to tamper with the house or did something. So I could potentially, go have a, just have a look at his hands right now. Walk up next to him, and this is what I said about, just, looking at, somebody, right? Just to kind of like see, do they have scratches on their hands? Like, what do they do? This could be similar situation. Could be, I could have a drunk driver, right? I could think, maybe think they could be on drugs, right? Again, I've got reasonable suspicion. I can, look at their eyes, see what they look like. Are they diluted? And if they are, well, then that gives me a probable cause to then, detain them afterwards, right? Once I've got them detained, all right, well, and even not detained, right? If I've got the IRS, I can even pat them down. So again, if I am suspecting they left the scene of shots fired, I see maybe like a vehicle speeding away from it. I've got an IRS to pull that person over and pat them down. See if they got any weapons, right? I can ask them, you got any weapons? They go, no. Okay. Do you mind stepping out so I can pat you down? If they go, yes, that's fine. All right, perfect. Even better. If they say no, well, you still can get them out of the car and pat them down, even if they don't want to. And if they don't want to, well, they kind of disobeying a law for order by this point, which means you can even arrest them for that. Does that kind of make sense? It's essentially building up your,
Yes, sir.
your confidence in what happened. There are many, many different ways, many different tools at your disposal to do this. To essentially build up that, work you all the way up to that sort of probable cause and just, arrest the guy. But honestly, most of the time, you ask somebody to hop out to pat them down, they refuse, they start running. Well, it's a chase now. They've been arrested regardless.
Right.
There will be people that will cooperate with you. So you just kind of need to work your way up and figure out, what you actually need.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense? Lyra, do you want to add anything onto that?
What's the probable cause and reasonable suspicion?
Yeah.
I mean, you can give them the pop quiz, or what's the last big one that has to be proven in court. That's a bit of a pop quiz.
Oh, you mean right. Wait, sorry, with RSMPC?
So it goes beyond RSMPC. Like, if your client pleads not guilty and it goes to court.
Oh, I see what you're talking about. Yeah.
What
Yeah.
do you have to prove?
Yeah. So obviously, after getting that reasonable suspicion to detain someone, arrest them, right? If they decide to plead not guilty to certain charges or just not guilty to certain things, you guys need to think about, can I prove this beyond reasonable doubt in court? Okay. Do you guys know what that means?
Yup.
What does that mean?
It would have to be where I have some, concrete evidence to where I know 100% that I would be able to have that charge stick in court.
Mm-hmm. So to be technical, it's actually 90%. Okay. You need to be 90% certain you can prove these charges in court. Okay. That is the only way these charges will stick, right? That's why he's always said, when every court and there is like an opening statement, go something along the lines of, we're gonna try to prove beyond reasonable doubt that this person did this, and this, and blah
Your
blah
Honor,
blah.
the state today can approve beyond a reasonable doubt that Client X did commit armed robbery at the store on Route 68.
Yeah, something along those lines, right? So that's the reason for that, right? So you need to be able to prove, like, you need to be 90% certain you have enough evidence to that this charge is gonna get, gonna go through, right?
And that might be why SEO might look at some of your things and go, I'm dropping this charge. We'll look at it and we'll try and prove it as much as we can. But sometimes we will just drop the charge before it gets to court. There is, or if they're on a hut, we might do that as, there might be some we do as well, because if they are proven not guilty at court, you cannot then recharge them for that crime.
Yeah, because that will be double jeopardy. So, TLDR, you need to prove beyond reasonable doubt. If you can't, or if SEO potentially doesn't think you can, they will probably try to drop it down. A very common one is attempted murder of an LEO, sometimes get dropped down to assault with a deadly of an LEO. You'll learn about those things later down the line. Little fun fact, this isn't the case in civil suits. In civil suits, if you want to prove something, it just needs to be above 51%. Okay, any questions about RSMPC and what was the last thing? Beyond reasonable doubt.
Nope. No, sir.
Okay, we're gonna go over the different we're gonna go over the god damn it, different levels of force. Okay, within the SCSP we use a sort of like a pyramid framework. Are you guys aware of this? Have you heard of it before? All right. So if you have, who can tell me what's the lowest level of force you can use as a police officer?
Oh, I got you. It would be your presence.
That is correct, yes. So your presence, just the fact you're in an area, is gonna stop certain crimes from happening, okay? LSPD used to do an Alter initiative where they would literally just post up outside of Alter to prevent kidnappings, right? And simply by the fact they were there, right, they stopped numerous people from being kidnapped that just walk in and out of the apartments, right? So yes, you're absolutely correct. Just the fact you're there is gonna sometimes and most of the times, prevent people from doing the crime. All right, do you guys know what the next one is?
It'd be some force without any weapons yet.
I would guess it would be verbal commands.
Exactly, it's gonna be a voice, fellas. You can talk.
Hey, stop that.
Use that muscle in your neck, okay?
All right.
You can use this to de-escalate situations, right? Talk to the guys, try to talk them out of it. If you think people are arguing, fight might break out, right? You're gonna use your voice exactly. You're gonna try to use your voice. You're gonna try to de-escalate the situation, all right? Your voice is your best weapon, my boys. Okay, you use it more than anything else. I highly recommend it. Very useful. Now, there could be an scenario, for example, in prison, okay, where I've got an inmate outside of the cell block at night, okay? Bear in mind, nighttime is a lockdown, all right? I'm talking to this guy quite nicely, right? I'm asking him, I'm giving him verbal command, hey, my man, let's go inside, it's nighttime, lockdown's happening. And he's refusing, okay? So obviously, I'm going to ask him, right? I'm going to ask him nicely, come on, man, you should get back in, otherwise, I'm going to put you in a cell, right, for some certain timeout. And again, he refuses again, right? I ask him maybe 3-4 times, he still refuses. Do you guys know what would be the next one? The next level of force I would use?
Probably like something not with weapons, like trying to cuff them, detain them.
So if we control techniques, okay? So what I could try and attempt to do, I could walk up to them and I'll be like, okay, my man, I'm just going to grab you by the arm. We're going to go inside. All right, you come with me now. All right. I would make sure that you announce that, okay? If you're ever going to grab somebody by the arm and for some reason you're built like a brick and I can't even touch you right now. I would walk up to him. I would ask him nicely, hey, man, I'm just going to grab you. We're going to walk inside now, okay? Now, he's either going to let you or he's either going to jump away and not let you get anywhere near him, okay? If he does let you grab him, well, you're just going to take him, escort him inside. Now, if he doesn't, do you guys know what will be the next level potentially?
What, taser or baton?
Well, you can still try to run after
You
and
can
tackle
still
him.
try to cuff
Okay.
him.
Yeah, you can
Tackle,
kind
alright.
of still run after him and tackle him. So again, that would still fall under the self-control techniques. But if even
Okay.
that fails, yes, you can escalate it to a taser. Right. If you exhausted all the other options, right, nothing worked with this guy. Yes, you can try to use and again, let's not call them non-lethal. They're less lethal options. Okay. And this is
Right.
essentially your nightstick, or baton, and your tasers. And again, I want to stress they're less lethal because I've still had people die from being hit by a baton. Okay. So bear that in mind. They're not non-lethal, they're less lethal. Okay. Now, assuming you guys can guess what the final one is, yes.
Lethal.
It's gonna be lethal force, correct? Yes. So lethal force. These things are authorized very, very rarely unless you're being shot at already. Okay. So unless the suspect has already a knife, or maybe he's running at you with a knife. Maybe you already stabbed someone, right? These are the sort of situation when lethal force would be authorized or is already authorized if it already happened. Now, once you become once you join the PD, the only person who can authorize it is going to be sergeant above, okay? Unless he already either shot someone or stabbed someone or, done something really bad, okay?
Right.
Gotcha.
Now, the very last thing I want to touch on is crossfire, okay? Do you guys know what that is?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
You know what crossfire is? Okay, what is it?
Yes. Well, it's important when you're aiming your weapons. I mean, it could be. I mean, even for a taser, but specifically on lethal weapons, and you want to make sure that you're aiming at the suspect and not pointing at any other
Mhm.
civilians or
All right, good.
or law enforcement.
So main things to bear in mind about crossfire is it is all about your situational awareness. Okay, try to know who is where and what are they going to do next. Right? If you think somebody in front of you is going to move in your line of fire, move somewhere else. Right? Listen to the radio. Okay, if you hear somebody's going to be pushing the west side, you're pushing the east side ladder. Right? Understand that you're going to have cops probably somewhere coming up right in front of you on that rooftop, for example. Right? So again, if you've got a weapon in you, try not to shoot them. They're going to be most likely friendlies. But you need to listen to the comms of what is happening, right? Where people are going, which direction they're pushing, which angle they're pushing, so you don't end up shooting your own either, okay? But yes, alongside that, crossfire, yes, if both of you are kind of aiming in the same direction, in the same path, and he can move in front of you, well, you probably don't have that good of an angle. Try to get a safer one.
Right.
All right. Basic arresting procedures. You want to keep this fairly simple. You arrested someone. The very first thing you're gonna do, you're gonna cuff them. Okay. Now they can, if they require a medical, you're gonna give them a quick first aid on the scene. You're gonna reach out to EMS. You're gonna contact them. All right. They're either gonna say self-transport or they're gonna send a bus to get you. Okay. Always give them medical on the scene. Try to look what happened to them. If they were shot, just try to bandage them up. Put pressure on it. Now the next thing that's going to be, you're going to search them. This is the most important part. If it happens on the scene, the very first thing you're going to do, you're going to take away the weapons. Okay. I don't give a shit about the money. I don't give a shit about anything else on them. All I care about is you take the weapons. Doesn't matter if it's crowbar, knife, gun. You take anything they can hurt you with or anybody else off them as the very first thing. All right. The reason for that is somebody could get involved and uncuff them, in which case they're armed again. Or somebody could uncuff them just, for example, at Pillbox while they're being treated, in which case you've got them running with weapons around Pillbox again. All right. Weapons are the most important thing to take off first. Now, let's say they needed medical. After the medical, after they were cleared, treated and cleared, that is the time when you would probably read them their rights. Okay. Make sure they're not like knocked out on the ground, bleeding to their death. All right. Don't read them their rights in that stage. It's pointless. They're probably not going to remember. Plus, they can use it against you. Okay. Make sure they've been treated. Make sure they're sound mind. Make sure they understand them. After all this, you're going to transport them to PD. All right. You put them in the car, which we're going to teach you later. You take them out of the car. Once you get to BPD, you take them into the cells. Now, before you uncuff someone, you always search them again. All right. I don't care if you were the one who searched them first time round. All right. I don't care if somebody else searched them already and they told you they searched them. If you are the one taking the cuffs off, you're going to search that person again. All right. And I'm sure this applies within DLC too. Never uncuff anyone without searching them again. Always. You will get striked for it if it happens. We literally had a situation 2 days ago where somebody was uncuffed. They had, like, I think a scorpion on them. 2 officers got shot down in cells. Very important. If you get somebody pawns up a 95 or a suspect on you, always search them. And once you have them in the cells, you're going to ask them whether they want a lawyer. They don't want a lawyer. If yes, you're going to request one. I'm assuming they're going to teach you that, guys, within DLC. And rest basically happens in the MDT, where you go through the report, you fill in the charges, and so on and so on. The way I kind of showed you already within the MDT. Those are the sort of like basic arrest procedures. Does that make sense?
It does.
Yes, sir.
Okay. While you're on the scene, also try to be helpful. Like whether you're arresting or not arresting, if there was vehicle used, grab photos, put them in the evidence channel for everybody else that were involved that might be processing, and vice versa. And just make yourself useful. If there were shots, look for casings. Again, just get them, catalog them, put them in the evidence channel. Doesn't matter with the processing or not. Try to make yourself useful, and hopefully the others will do the same for you as well. Cool. I think that kind of covers everything on my side. Lyra?
Okay.
Cool. I'm gonna go grab a drink because my throat is killing me.
That's
you're all
fine.
good.
Okay, so I'm quickly going to launch us through the DOC side. I'm gonna try and keep it as much as possible. We're just gonna go over the emails first. So if you want to open up your tablet and have you look at emails, you will have noticed you have access to a grand range of different channels now.
Yes, ma'am.
Perfect. So we're just gonna nip through this, and we're gonna be super quick. We've got the LEO resources. We've got the LEO documents. It contains documents for SESP officers, such as the K9 cert, firearms license quiz, civilian police report, DOJ complaint form, EMS complaint form, your SOPs, various different documents that you can spend the time having a look at, which I recommend. You've got the evidence. This is where you put all video and photo evidence when doing an incident or report. You can also place people's profiles pictures here, as well as when they're starting the wait period for their weapons license. You can also place evidence, CID notifications. You can place evidence statements here to notify CID about a potential crime. Then we're going to move underneath that to the DOC PD bootcamp. Obviously, you don't need to do that because you're already doing your bootcamp. You only ever have to attend to one once, unless you're planning to go bootcamp instructor, in which case keep an eye out. But that's much, much further down the line. You're only just starting your journey. Weapon register. So when registering your weapons using the F1 duty belt, we'll put the information here. When you have your weapon stolen or it has been lost, you will need to find it here to inform others it's been stolen. You need to find that serial code. Inform them it's gone. Otherwise, that could be a strike and looking at potential charges. It is mandatory to register your weapon. If your weapon is stolen and you recover it, you will still need to mark it as stolen, put it in the relevant evidence locker. We got talk to a high command member if that does happen, because they are more than willing to, majority of the time, reimburse you for the stuff that you have. So if your stuff gets stolen here at DOC, come and talk to a DOC command member, and we can often reimburse you for it once you've explained it to us. So we can reimburse you on the kit. DOC section, DOC bulletin board, it is going, but for the moment, we use it to record visitations, any quick notes that you want to inform other DOC about. Short bulletin notices about 2 to 3 lines at max. DOC General, a place you can ask questions, get answers about anything you want to talk about. Promotions will also be placed here. We've got the DOC resources, so we've got the DOC documents, so you'll find all relevant DOC documents here. DOC SPs, uniform guidelines, LOA form, SESP roster, complaint form, DOC training recruit training, which is for DOC full-time recruits, inmate logs, and reimbursement form. if an inmate has a complaint, you can redirect them to Dr. Bill Bob's tablet and give them the complaint form to fill out. They are allowed to fill it out. It helps us keep a track on things. Underneath that, we've got the lifers section. So we've got the inmate arrivals. That section is going. However, there is a couple of things that you need to be aware of. These are people who are being held at Bolingbroke for longer periods of time. This includes 48-hour holds. They're not allowed to have any information passed along apart from when they're to their lawyer. And only the lawyer is allowed to visit them. No phone calls apart to the lawyer. 5150 is held waiting a psyche bell. Huts hold until trial. And lifers, we have very few of those who have been transferred in from other cities. So they have life sentences. They don't have parole. We very rarely have other people who are life without parole. But these guys are here. They have transferred in. The only way they're getting out is transferring out to transferring back to their original city where they were convicted. Oh my goodness, I'm having a bit of... you pass your dry throat on to me. So underneath that, we've got the notes.
sorry.
Important notes that local DOC guards want to inform other DOC staff about the long-term inmates. This may also include us wanting to pass notes on to them. DOJ, PD lawyer requests. When a person requests a lawyer, you cannot refuse them. Why can you not refuse them?
It's in their Miranda rights. They are owed a lawyer, and they were given a lawyer.
It is one of their rights to have a lawyer. What other rights do they have? They don't have many in prison, but they do have some.
Well, they always have the right to remain silent.
Yeah.
What other things do you have?
Is there more? Like, I'm beyond the attorney
there
and
is
silent.
more. There is more.
I don't know why I said.
They have the right to be able to eat.
Okay.
No
They have-
way.
They have the right to medical. So if they want medical, we need to go and give them medical. If they want food and water, we need to make sure that they have a place that they can have food and water. If they're in cuffs, we take them to a cell and cuff them so they can have their food and water. So just keep that in mind. They have also the right to life, the right to a fair trial,
okay,
etc.,
yeah.
etc., etc. Okay. Also, try not to profile them. Like, they've committed crimes, yes. Treat them as humans. Don't profile them as killers, cannibals. We have a lot of cannibals.
Of course.
Treat them as they're humans. Try and talk to them. Try to find out why they're acting the way they are, because there may be a very good reason behind it.
I can fix them.
So, I will say that if they do not like you, you'll probably end up getting stabbed. Short time and long time.
Oh. It's good to know.
Okay. That part's done. I had such a panic there. Next, we're going to go over the security levels. Does anyone know what the security levels are?
Let's see, there's 3 of them.
Low, medium, and maximum.
No, medium, and maximum. Do you want to tell me what colors they are?
I believe one of them is yellow. If I'm correct. I think one of them is also red.
Mm-hmm. You've got 2 of them, right? What's the last one?
And then the last one will be blue.
Yep. So, does anyone want to have to guess which security level blue is? I'll give you a clue. It's our most common.
The
It would
lowest one?
be the lowest one.
Yep. So they have the freedom to roam freely. red is our maximum, so I'll do that as a kind of a... Red means they're in a cell all the time. They need food and water brought to them. If they need medical, we take them out in cuffs. They are max. Medium is in yellow all the time, so they are in handcuffs. Which means if they want to eat or drink, you take them to a cell and lock the door behind them. You uncuff them. Make sure they are uncuffed in that cell. Do not leave them cuffed in a cell. Hold on, my deputy warden was calling me. We also have the ask, tell, make system. So you ask an inmate to do something. If they refuse, you tell them to do it. If they're not, you make them do it. You put them in cuffs. Sometimes you will instantly go to make. That is fine. Sometimes you may ask a few times. That is also fine. Adapt. It's not going to be a one-set situation. Okay. Apparently Lisa needs to talk to me. Give me a moment, guys, and I'll go and take you around the vehicles.
Yeah, take your time. Does anyone have any food or water that they could...
Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, grab these.
So a man came asking to buy flowers. He sounds exactly like Lupus. He looks like him, but he's wearing a mask. And he's driving a car that's registered to a gentleman named S.W. Hayes, but appears to look nothing like the gentleman in the MDT profile.
What did he... Has he given an ID?
I can ask for it. I haven't yet. I'm just bullshitting, buying time at the moment.
I mean, voice ID we can't do. You know that.
Yeah.
How else does he look? Because there was another individual that looked like him. Sounded like him, but...
S.W. Hayes? He does not have the same tone, or color, or style.
Does he have an ID on him?
I'll ask.
Because I can't imagine Cody Noble would come back to the prison.
Yeah. I'll go talk to him. I'll let you know.
Okay. Just be safe.
Yep, bye.
Bye. Okay, let's go this way, my dears. We're gonna go and deal with the... You on radio?
Oh, yeah.
We're gonna leave just here?
Yeah, I just walked out.
Do you mind going back and get Lisa in the lobby? She's believes there's somebody that possibly looks like Noble.
Is that one of the Vipers?
Yeah, that's one of those that escaped. She said he sounds like him, but I'm also aware that that's we're not identifying people on voice.
Ah.
Okay. Lobby. Oh, good job.
I'll go grab a new shirt after this is over.
That's fine. Okay. So over here is one of the garages that you can use to unlock. Okay, so I'm going to need you to both face outwards. I want you to go to your F1 duty belt. I want you to go to garage. I want you to go to the shared pool. From there, I want you to pull out a Crown Vic in front of you. Okay, so from here, they're both super close. Check your trunk. There should be a med bag, a toolkit, and a fuel can in the back. I'm guessing from the lack of panic.
Yeah, I don't think it's him. The guy has a massive scar on his face. This guy's got a pretty face. I don't think that's him.
You saying he's a pretty boy?
Yeah, but like, yeah, the guy we're after, he's got like a huge ass scar throughout his entire face. This guy doesn't have any scars at all.
Is he? Okay, so hop into the
It's
vehicle,
not
hop
him.
into the
I
driver's seat.
doubt it's him.
Hang on, I'm trying to figure out how to open this one.
What are you struggling with?
Opening a trunk.
Okay, same way you open your pocket. Make sure behind a cap.
Okay, so on your dashboard, you should be able to see that you are currently what's known as Code 1, which is no lights, no siren. I want you to press Q, which should bring you up to Code 2. Okay, from there, I want you to press shift on your dashboard. You should go up to Code 3, which is sirens. Perfect. From there, I also want you to do your F1 duty belt and go into the police vehicle and open up the rack. There should be a transponder and a radio. There might not be.
Yup, I see him.
What was that last part? Sorry.
Okay, F1 duty belt, police vehicle. Go
Yep.
into and open up the rack, and you should see a radio and a transponder.
All right. All right.
Okay. Give me 2 seconds.
You're all good.
Okay. Now we're going to go and put it away. So you're going to go to your F1 duty belt. You're going to go to the garage. You're going to store the vehicle with the key, and you're going to put it in the shares pool. Okay. And then we're going to...
I had a question for you guys.
Hmm.
Are you guys busy at the moment?
What's up?
Yeah, a little bit, my man.
Yeah, if you guys are busy, it's fine. I'm just doing a raffle for Benny's, and I was wondering if you guys were interested.
I'm good.
You
I
already
don't know
scammed me
about them.
yesterday, and one of your other fellows. I'm not sure.
You mean scammed here? Oh, wow. Stay safe, guys. Have a good one.
Where we go next?
We're gonna do a lobby.
Okay.
Whoa.
Howdy, howdy.
What's going on?
I am not no Southside Fargo Boca.
Okay, we're in the.
I feel like you'd be very scary, I can't lie.
Who? Give me a moment.
I've never heard anybody.
You look like you would.
Lisa, if you wanna. Bobby, do you wanna do the tour for me? I apologize. I just need to go 10-7 for a few minutes.
Yeah,
sure. Someone put R.L. Washiri in the
Ex-
bathroom.
Like if somebody's shooting at you.
I don't know what Washiri means, but
Okay, I'll be back in a moment. Bob's gonna carry on with the tour.
alright. Where? No, no recruitment. They couldn't get any inmates to do guard duty.
Give me a moment, guys.
Lovely ladies, have a good day.
Hello.
Hello.
Do I want to clock in?
Bring him up, man. Get him out.
Is our front area. So, right here we have our shared stash, everybody. Anything in here is for the taking. Right, right there, the gray locker. You just, yeah, look into it real quick. Look real hard at it. And right here, if you want to look closely at these flashlights on the wall, this is our armory. This is where you buy gear and equipment and anything you may need. Just a quick note, this is the room that you need to register any weapons and equipment before you leave this room. So if you buy something from there, like a taser, baton, flashlight, it needs to be registered before you walk out that door.
Yes, sir. By the way, you need fix your arms. That kind of. I know. I'm about to fix that.
We'll do that once we go to the locker room.
No problem.
Right here is a trash can. It's a trash can. Use it as such.
Nice.
The locker is not a trash can. Please do not just throw things into the locker that you don't need. All right?
Not a trash
That's
can.
what the
Got
trash
it.
can's for.
Exactly. Also, if we go to the locker and you think about evidence and your call sign, that is your personal locker while you were here at the DOC. So try it now, and if there's anything in there, it's yours. Congratulations.
All right.
Look, please be $1 million. Please be $1 million. Damn it. I got nothing.
I have some extra things.
Ah!
I got a whole taser in here.
No, I got his side at driving. You got what?
A whole taser in here.
Hey, nice.
And 11 cartridges.
Damn. Well, there you go.
All right, I have the jackpot.
Does the taser have a serial code?
Let's see. Yeah.
All right, you can't have that one. That's registered to somebody else then.
Oh.
We should see who it is.
Well, yeah. What's the serial number?
It's India Alpha Bravo 693.
Yeah, it's Leon Priest.
I'm just gonna go ahead and leave that in there then, pretend like I don't see it.
No, so he's no longer employed with us because he's moved on. That was his old locker and that was his old taser, so you can throw that away in the trash can. And you can keep the cartridges, right?
The trash can that is for trash.
Yes, please.
Oh wait, I'm just buying an ID. Okay, let me stop looking at that. There you go. I'm buying 2 government IDs. One is a funny haha, and one's like an actual ID.
Also, recruits don't get badges, so don't get your hopes up too fast. We got an ATM here?
It's alright.
We do, right?
I wasn't worried about it anyway.
If you have any weapons, anything that was not given to you during the boot camp, now's the time. Stash it in your locker. Do not take it into the prison. This includes guns, lethals, tasers that are not registered under PD equipment, any weapons, knives, anything like that. Put it in your locker now. This is your one warning.
I got this gas can from that car.
Why?
Why not?
Alright. Alright. Follow me when you're done.
Hey, if you see something funny.
We're gonna go into our changing room. We're gonna go into the locker rooms.
Oh my, look at that. It's just like me. I'm getting that on as a funny.
This is our locker room. Right here is where you can change. Right here is where you can change into uniforms. You can do multitude of things. This is where you can go 10-7. If you need to take a break, you can go 10-7. I cannot stop eating this fucking chocolate bar.
Don't blame you, man.
I understand.
Yeah, I'd be eating it too.
There you
Shit.
But this is a safe place to go on break. Go 10-7 if you need it. Keep that door locked, and you can fix your shirt. You can get a shirt without holes in it.
All right, sounds good. I'm gonna do that
Right here.
now.
Yeah. Also, we have a
Okay, I have to go
bathroom
up
right
here.
there if you need be.
Okay.
This says, what the fuck does it say? It says RL Washidi. RL Washidi. Washidi? I don't know what the hell it is. I don't know what the fuck a Washidi is, but.
Yeah, me neither.
RL Washiri. Washidi. I don't know.
I have got a new badge finally.
So you don't need to change your shirt. You need to change your gloves.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, your arms, man. Yeah, there you go.
Oh, okay. All right.
Bobby.
Yeah.
Which one's there? So you got this ID,
Love it.
and then we got when it fucking.
Neither of those are legal.
The first one that everyone let me have. Even I showed Lara the first one. Well, like when I has had it. It's just like me. What do you mean?
All right.
There we go.
All right. Good. All
Perfect.
right. Let's
I
keep
managed
moving.
to do something very simple.
Fucking hell, these fucking.
106 1042. Have a good night.